We're on episode 7 of Squeeze the Neck podcast. Today I got with me my mate Patrick, friend of mine this time. So, pronounce your surname for me because I always fuck it up.
Gnaye.
Gnaye. Patrick Gnaye, also known as King of the Hill to himself, but to the rest of us, we'll leave that for another day. All right, mate. Thanks for doing this, Pat. We have a lot of stick on the mats, don't we? So, Today we'll have some fun with this one, I think. Tell us what's going on with you, mate, in terms of current things with competitions and whatnot, and then we'll dig back into your past.
Current competitions that I'm looking to do.
Yep. What's coming up? What's next?
I've got Raw Grappling qualifying trials in June. I think that's in 2 weeks' time, June 8th. And then after that, will probably either be the Brighton Open or the Polaris qualifying trials. I'm still trying to figure out which one I want to do. And then ADCC at the end of the month, which that's the one I'm looking forward to the most because, I've already won it once before, so...
So we're busy. Yeah. And tell us about weight situation, mate. What weights you doing? What weight do you weigh now?
Right now I weigh 77, so I usually just do lightweight.
Which is 76 for people that don't know.
Yeah, 76 kilos. Easy weight cut.
Easy weight cut. Extra large piss in the morning, you're good to go.
Just a couple of sets of light piss in the morning.
Nice. So I've known you for a couple of years now, right? So let's dive back into how you got into martial arts. I know you've done a bit of MMA before, but take us back to the beginning, mate, and let's feed through, and I'll stop you along the way.
So I think I started doing MMA, and I wanted to be a professional MMA fighter. That was like my dream and my goal. And the martial arts that I picked to do MMA was wrestling and kickboxing. So I did wrestling and kickboxing. I did wrestling for 4 years, and I did kickboxing for 5, with MMA mixed in between that training. During that time, I had 4 amateur fights, but the only thing that was missing was my jiu-jitsu, and the reason why was because when I was learning jiu-jitsu, I just didn't get it, and I think the biggest factor when you're learning jiu-jitsu is finding someone that's going to teach you like all the basics, and this place I was training at, no names, wasn't teaching me the basics. It was just teaching me flashy moves, and that's just what it's not what I needed. So yeah, I had 4 amateur fights. I was like, I need to go learn some jiu-jitsu from scratch. And yeah, finally found Reese and been training with New School ever since. So.
Reese Bailey, that is, for anyone who doesn't know, at New School Brixton, the home of jiu-jitsu. New School, a few affiliates, obviously. And Reese is the main man. Me and Reese, I know Reese, obviously, also. Me and Reese didn't know each other before jiu-jitsu, but we started similar times. So we've kind of been on a similar, well, not similar path, but similar time frame at least anyway. But yeah, so take us through your MMA, mate. You had 4 fights, you said. Firstly, how did they go? What weight was they?
So my first actual MMA fight was a charity fight. I tried it, went well. I feel like because there was like rules and stipulations, I wasn't able to do as much as I wanted to. So it was like no ground and pound to the head, just to the body. Terrible.
And you shin padded up and head guards and all that?
Yeah, no head guards though, just shin pads. Everything else was, I guess, legal except for like leg locks, so like heel hooks, the usual knee bar, stuff like that. And yeah, so basically I'm 4-0 undefeated.
Undefeated, son?
Yeah.
Show 'em up.
Hopefully one day maybe I'll make a transition back again.
So you said you wanted to be an MMA fighter. Was it just you got into jiu-jitsu and then stayed with jiu-jitsu, basically? Fell in love with that?
Yeah, pretty much. My thing was I always wanted to be a coach and own my own gym. So
MMA gym or jiu-jitsu?
Whatever it was, just the martial arts gym. I was just into martial arts. The funny thing is I wasn't actually much of a fighter in my younger days. Didn't get into fights. I was more of a peaceful person, but I was always a competitive person. And I liked the idea of being able to fight without getting in trouble for it. And it's a competitive thing. So when I started MMA, I was like, this is great. Like, I get to beat people up and not get in trouble for it. So yeah, that was it for me. And like I said, I wanted to be a professional MMA fighter. But the thing that kind of put me off of it was I got leg kicked badly really one time, and it put me out of work for like a whole week. My whole leg was swollen, like thigh to foot. And I was like, how many more of these leg kicks do I need to take before I make it professional? But I was always good at grappling. That's the thing. I wasn't the best striker, but I was always really good at grappling.
As in naturally? It was just
I was just naturally good at grappling. I was good at pinning people down. But like I said, I didn't know the positions that I was trying to get to or any submission. So I could take people down, but I didn't know what to do after that.
So if you're taking people down and getting triangle,
do a lot of good.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm just getting reversed straight away.
How old was you when you got into MMA, mate?
17.
So still youngish, right? You're still very young, obviously, 17.
Yeah.
And you're what age now?
26.
So we're a long way back,
27.
nearly a decade in. And how long ago did you start jiu-jitsu?
In overall total?
Yeah, properly, like with Reese and the boys at Brixton.
With Reese and the boys, 23.
Okay, cool. So
23.
So you're four-ish,
yeah, 24, turning
yeah.
24.
Cool. So you're nearly 3 years-ish deep
Yeah.
in pure jiu-jitsu, but you'd grappled and whatnot before that.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, mate. So when you come to Brixton, I met you at Brixton Street Gym, right?
Yeah.
Shout out Street Gym.
Shout out the old gym.
The old gym, the origins, right? So we started training there, and you was a lot heavier then, right? So what was you competing at weight-wise in MMA before that?
When I was competing in MMA, it was at middleweight, so that would be 85, I believe. But yeah, when I started jiu-jitsu, I was actually 90 kilos. Obviously, I think that was coming out of lockdown and whatnot. So yeah, wasn't in the best shape.
No, well, we got a few Patricks on the mat, right? I affectionately called you Fat Pat at this point. That was how I knew which one we were talking about.
Yeah.
But you trimmed down now, as you say, 77 kilos, looking jacked and all that stuff, right? So we're on and rolling. So take us back to the start of jiu-jitsu, mate. Start, you get a gi on, you got a white belt, first competition.
Actually, I didn't start
no
with
gi.
a gi.
All right,
I was against it.
Okay.
I never want to wear gi. Who wants to wear that? And it was Reese. Actually, it wasn't even Reese who convinced me. Reese told me, yeah, you need to get a gi, 1, to level up, get your belt, straps, whatnot, and 2, that's the best form of jiu-jitsu. I was like, nah, I'm not interested. And it wasn't until, and obviously, gis for me was like, I didn't know you could go online, get it for cheaper. Every time I looked online, it was just really expensive. I didn't really have the funds for it either. And it wasn't until there was a guy who came for a trial one day, and I was partnered up with him, and he just really liked me for some reason. He was like, oh, you're a cool dude, and I was telling him like, yeah, I want to train in a gi, but I don't really have the funds for it. And then he basically donated me his gi because he said like he's kind of done with training, he's going to take a break. So he was actually the one who started me on my gi journey.
Nice. Shout out to the
guy.
nameless guy that we don't know. Apparently he was dating him for about 3 months, right?
Fuck off.
Nah, so we've got you in a gi eventually, and then take us from there, mate. When's your first comp? How's it go? What weight? All that kind of stuff.
So my first competition was an All-Stars Europeans. So I trained for 5 months and then did my first competition. Didn't get the results I wanted, which was a double gold, but I think just even reaching the podium was kind of like, I think I've got a thing for this. So my first result was I did gi and no gi at 88 kilos, which was medium heavy in jiu-jitsu. I got bronze in the gi and silver in no gi. And then from then on, it was just double gold all the time. And then I went to the Europeans as a white belt, and I came second. And that was like my first major international competition. So I did really well in that. And I was like, I'm actually sick at this. Like, I've been doing it for not that long, and I'm actually pretty sick. And then I came to blue belt, and I was like, okay, I've got a lot to work on, and then I'm going to have to come up against these kids who have been doing it since 4 years old. So I think that's the hardest battle when you started a sport late, and there's people who've been doing it from such a young age. Competing against those type of people means you just have to like train even harder, just so you're able to beat them on the mats. So I think that's kind of what motivates me a bit right now. And I went to the Europeans this year. Didn't go how I wanted. I lost in the first round. Even though I was winning, I just fumbled it, and my preparation wasn't the greatest. But it's all learning experience. So
it's all experience, and you're still relatively young. Because like different people that come in jiu-jitsu, if you start, I mean, you say late, but I think as long as you've done something athletic beforehand, you know, you can bridge the gap. And everyone that comes in seems to have like their own certain area that they're good at that puts them to it. So like Reese, the main man at Brixton, he's a tricky guy, right? He's like a slickster, and he's got his thing. So like for you, you're an athletic guy. Like that's one of the things that stands out, right? You're explosive and whatever. So that's obviously helped you coming into it.
100%.
Big time, right?
Me a lot.
And you know what it's like yourself starting when you get sort of 6 months deep and the other white belts that have started around the same time as you. Yeah. You've got to gauge on where you're at, right? Because the athleticism will take you through it. So,
plus I've grappled a bit before that. So all of these things, I guess, came into play when I went to competition. But definitely wasn't in the right weight class at all. I was probably the smallest guy in my weight class all the time.
And you're still winning though. You're still getting wins.
Yeah. Until I was just like, this is ridiculous now. I think the explosiveness, the speed, and athleticism just helped me compared to like guys who are bigger, heavier than me. I was just able to maneuver much quicker than them. So all of those things came into play.
All right, so take us from Euros, mate, because we was actually watching it here on the TV.
I didn't know.
Yeah, we was on the mat watching it as it was happening. You know, because where was it? It was
Paris.
Oh, Paris. So it was similar sort of time frame, wasn't it? So we was watching it on the mat and sitting watching it on TV whilst on the mat here. So take us from there, mate, because I believe you got your blue belt almost straight after.
Yeah, when I came back from Paris, I got it.
Which was when? What sort of time frame we talking?
Ending of January, I think it was on the 23rd of January that I was competing
2003?
2023.
Sorry, not 2003. Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Yeah, 2023, 23rd of January. That's when I did my first Europeans. And I got my blue belt, I think, on like the 27th, which was like a week after.
Yeah, so like straight away back. Nice. Yeah. Cool. And then from there, it's been competitions non-stop, it seems. Like every time I talk to you, got something coming up.
There was like a bit of a gap, because at that time I was still working a normal job, bartending in hospitality. So it was kind of hard to balance my training schedule and my work schedule. And I feel like anyone who's trying to make it as a pro athlete, one of the biggest things they struggle with is either balancing your work timetable or finally making that 100% commitment to like, all right, cool, I'm going to take this seriously. I'm going to put my all into it and just give it a go. And yeah, that was always one of my biggest problems, balancing work and training. So I think that's why I wasn't as committed to doing MMA as I was. I think what convinced me in Jiu-Jitsu was how much that the results I was getting kind of convinced me. And I kind of believed in like Reese's dream and goals and aspirations, because it was pretty similar to mine. Because I remember speaking to Reese on the phone during lockdown before he even started his whole gym. And he was like, yeah, he wants to build like a bunch of champions, he wants to build his own gym, all that stuff. And I was like, that's basically what I want to do. So if anything, the best thing I can do is probably just learn from you. So it was kind of like, it sounds a bit mad, but it's like you have to use your resources as much as you can. And that me and Reese have a very good and close relationship. I view him as an older brother and a mentor. So like any little knowledge that I can pick up from him, I'm like, feed me more, because like growing up, I didn't really have much of a mentor or anyone to advise me on anything or give me tips or anything in life. So like as soon as I came across him, I was like, oh, my savior.
Because you call him daddy sometimes, right? Is that right? No, but Reese is obviously he's our mate here, but it's very much a family vibe here. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like Reese, we all train here. I teach some classes here. You teach. Some of the other boys we all teach. It's very much sort of a family vibe, isn't it? You know what I mean? So like Reese is a great guy too. And jiu-jitsu, like I've never fought MMA, but I've sparred a lot of MMA. My background was boxing. I used to fight boxing. And compared to the other sort of martial arts, when you come to jiu-jitsu, everyone wants to help you and they want to teach you, right? Whereas you go in the other ones and there's an element of getting the fuck beat at you for a while.
You'd think it's like that in MMA, but sometimes it can be very, like my journey it was kind of a weird vibe. I felt like if you wasn't part of the OG squad, then you're not really part of the squad, then you're just like another member. And that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for like a team, like the kind of the team that we have here, where no matter who you are, where you come from, someone's going to help you, and no one's like, oh, who's that guy? Or people are trying to beat you up, all that sort of stuff. So,
and the reality is here, like you can learn a lot from people that are less time in their journey anyway, because they'll be better at you at something, right? 100%. So whether it's specific sparring or whatever, it's like, you know, for instance, you as an example, for someone who's more experienced, the athleticism, you can put yourself in certain spots, wrestling wise or whatever, where it's hard to deal with. And again, like Reese, when he was in his earlier days as a trickster, he used to catch people because he had that kind of style. Do you know what I mean? And it is what it is. But anyway, mate, so take us up to now, right? We've got competitions coming up. I know you've had knee injuries and stuff in the past. Firstly, tell us about your knee injuries, because I know there was a big comp coming that you had to miss because of the knee injury.
Yeah.
Go from there and bring us to now. Because this was like schoolboy era, from what I understand.
One of the worst things that's probably happened in my life. But thankfully, like I call myself Wolverine because I healed from it like ridiculously fast. Yeah, I was meant to go to Nogi Europeans. Would have been my second major international competition.
At blue belt, this is now, right?
At blue belt. And I don't know, for some reason, literally the night before my flight, I came in and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna watch and sit out and just watch. And then something in my mind was just like, oh yeah, just do a bit of flow rolling, warm yourself up so you're ready for competition tomorrow. The match got real slippery, obviously no-gi. I went for Toriando, took an extra step, then I slipped and my knee just caved in and I just thought, that's it, my career's done, it's over, my dreams,
My career,
aspirations.
so it's quite
It's all
extreme.
finished, it's out the window. It doesn't exist anymore. And I was so adamant. I was like, nah, it's all right. It's probably just a sprain or something. Um, and then so I still ended up getting the flight because I wasn't getting a refund on anything. So I'm like, I'm still taking that flight. And that was like one of the most painful things I've ever gone through.
And was you still thinking you might compete when you got out there because it's fresh?
Yeah. So went home, got changed. I was limping. Luckily, someone dropped me home after it happened, but literally had a shower, put on my clothes, got to the airport, and then kind of just tried to rest it. Wasn't in the most comfortable position in the plane. I was stuck between this guy and his kid, and they were sitting on the inside. And the kid kept needing to pee all the time. So I'm like, I'm injured, and you need to keep getting up. So that was pretty annoying. And it wasn't until I got off the plane where I was like, my leg is killing me right now. Like I was walking so slowly. Old people were overtaking me. I was like, it's not looking good. But still hoping that I could compete the next day, woke up the next day. Nah, couldn't do it. Sucked, but I watched Reese and a guy called James, who's a black belt now. They won, so I guess it made the journey worth it.
Both got gold medals at brown belt, right?
Yeah.
Exact same competition I'm thinking about. Yeah. So it was a big deal, and it's a shame because you would have probably got the third one, right? So, but it is what it is, right? It's all part of the journey.
100%.
So from there, mate, how's the knee injury go, and how long did it take you to start competing again?
I was probably out for about a month, which wasn't long. I didn't really go get it checked out either. I was just let it rest and won't do anything. I just come in, watch. And funny enough, I think me cycling home kind of just helped it recover a bit. So when I was able to like move it, do a bit of mobility stuff, stretch, then I would cycle home. And I think that kind of just helped me. I do think I do need to do more strength and conditioning because I don't, but yeah, that's what helped me in my recovery. Still a little few niggles here and there, but it's much better than it was.
It's good to go. You've competed a bunch since anyway, right?
Yeah.
So that's my next point. I was going to touch on the strength and conditioning. You say, what does that mean? You don't do anything, or?
Literally nothing. I don't go to the gym at all. Don't work out at all. I don't even do push-ups.
Don't even do push-ups. Can you do push-ups or not?
Yeah.
I can do 2 or 3
I can do a lot of push-ups, but I don't know. It's so hard to. It's not hard. I'm just a procrastinator.
But to be honest, there's 2 schools of thought really with the jiu-jitsu community, right? You either get guys that are really hardcore into the strength and conditioning, or people that do nothing. Neither seems to have more benefit over the other from the outside looking in.
True, but there is a benefit to it. I feel like there is a benefit to it.
I think there is in injury prevention in terms of looking after your body, because I think when people are doing circuits and like too heavy with the weights and shit, they cause themselves more problems the other way. But
injury prevention, just a bit to keep yourself strong, you know, knees and that. But not trying to get to like 90 kilos again.
No, never again.
Never again.
And you're 77 now, but that's like what? Is that that's just how you live when you're training and you're eating well?
Yeah.
Although I'll say you're eating well, I'm going to expose you. When I come in, you was eating something. What was you eating when I come in?
All I'm saying is I need a sponsorship from Woolies. That's what I'm looking for. A sponsorship from Woolies.
Patrick, sponsored by Krispy Kremes, I think has got a good ring to it.
Nah,
no Krispy Kremes. Anyways, so take us through what's going on now with your training, mate. How often do you train? What's like a typical week for you? And we touched on it a little bit. What you say? Are you full time now, jiu-jitsu? Are you just completely jiu-jitsu? So tell us about that, mate, and tell us how you structure your training week.
So a day-to-day basis for me would be come in 10 o'clock, start drilling. So I do drills for 1 hour from 10. And I do the 11 a.m. class from 11 till 1. And then after that, I will go get some lunch. After that, do whatever gym work needs to be done, because I'm also the gym manager. And then I teach kids from 4 till 6. And then sometimes I might rest for the 6 o'clock class. I might just watch, do some drills, and then I'll jump in the later class and do some sparring, or I'll jump in at the end of the class, just for the King of the Hill type specific sparring, just to get me warm for the next class, and then do sparring in the next
So it's
class.
hectic, it's full on. And how about
Yeah.
recovery, mate? You doing any massages or any kind of ice baths, any shit like that?
No, just
Nothing,
a hot
just old
shower.
school.
Just
Just
a
like
hot
the beat,
shower.
go home
Right?
and sleep.
Literally, hot shower, sleep, and some Tiger Balm.
Yeah.
That's literally
So you're
it.
flat out, man. So you're full on. And this is what, 5 days a week, 6 days a week?
Probably about 6. I don't know. It's like literally every day. I train Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. I train every day. Saturdays, Sunday.
How many days in a week are there?
7.
Name me off all the days in a week. Yeah. So we're good. So tell us, I want to jump forward a little bit before we kind of come back to goals with Jiu-Jitsu specifically. You said eventually you want to get back into MMA. Tell us what your ambitions are. Potentially. Okay, so tell us what potentially your ambitions are and how you see it going for you.
But you know, this thing is, like, I don't know what is the cutoff age for you to start MMA or make that decision to, I'm going to be a professional MMA fighter. I feel like trying to be an MMA fighter like 27 onwards, it's not impossible, but we're not all Conor McGregor's out here, so I don't know if it's worth it to even
But it's
try.
also, you're not starting at that age, right? Because you do jiu-jitsu, even though you're not doing specific MMA, you're still, you're a martial artist, you're competing, you're doing a lot. So you're kind of in, you're just not 100% in terms of every art. But if you was to go into MMA, you're going to have a solid base in jiu-jitsu by the time you get there, right? So you're going to be a specialist of sorts anyway.
I think it just depends. It depends. Well, my thing was, I always thought, even if you make it to, let's say you make it to the UFC, because these are just rumors or things I've seen online, is that even if you've joined the UFC, your show is like 10,000 and to win is 10,000. And I'm like, that's terrible. And obviously they probably expect you to fight as often as you can, but 10K to win and 10K to show doesn't really excite me, to be an MMA fighter.
Nope.
Um,
But there's bonuses, there's sponsors, there's a lot that goes with it, right? There's looking after the...
I guess so. But is that still going to make you another 10K on top? But I don't think so.
Yeah, but you got to win, right? You're going to assume you're going to win, and you're going to have 3 or 4 fights the first year.
There you go.
And
so imagine you don't win,
then
and you just get 10K to show, and then your sponsors maybe another 5K on top. Hey, you got 15K for the month. How much of that goes to your coaches, your rehabilitation, all these other stuff, food, I'm sure your rent. At the end of it, probably go home with like maybe 9K, 8K.
And we're talking dollars too, by the way.
Yeah,
so
even dollars as well. 10K is like what? 8,000
probably,
pounds?
something like 8, yeah.
So it's not really appealing to me, to be honest. I think as a coach, and like I don't want to be, I would love to be a millionaire, right? But I don't have these major ambitions to make loads of money and be the richest guy on earth.
Whoa, don't say that on camera, bro. Jesus, like your first contract just gone fucking downhill.
Yeah, they're gonna short me.
8 and 8 for you, no 10 and 10.
5 and 5. That's what they're giving me. Hey, we saw in the video that you don't want a lot of money, so here's 5 to show, 5 to win.
Yeah, and sweep the floors as you leave, you motherfucker. Yeah, I got you.
But no, I'm just like.
So MMA sounds like it's not 100%. It's not your end goal. It's not like something. It's just if you get to a certain point in jiu-jitsu and then it's there, you still want to.
You know what the thing is with jiu-jitsu? Yeah, you can make money in jiu-jitsu, whether that's doing your content online or selling your techniques or being a coach, or you can always sell jiu-jitsu to people. MMA is like, okay, what have you done as an MMA fighter or as a semi-pro MMA fighter? What's your record? Have you actually won anything? That's important. In jiu-jitsu, like, people just see a bunch of gold medals. They're like, okay, this guy must be legit because he's got gold medals. So I'm going to go train with him. I don't think that's hard to sell to people. Make a nice video. I don't know. I could compete from now till my estimated time to be a black belt was like 33, 34. I'm sure by then, hopefully, I would have probably started my own gym, maybe as a purple belt, brown belt. And by then, I probably would have collected like over 100 gold medals. If I put all those 100 gold medals together in a video, people are going to be like, what? This guy is for real. Like, he's the real deal. So I can sell that. Whereas MMA, I don't have anything to show you to account for that I'm legit. Do you know what I mean? So.
And jiu-jitsu also, compared to MMA, if you're going to be MMA, it's a bit more of a career path, isn't it? Whereas jiu-jitsu, you can be 40-year-old lawyer who just likes competing and likes training 3 days
Yeah,
a
you could
week.
be
So you've got a big
a
audience.
lawyer, part-time jiu-jitsu coach, and teach kids on the weekends, and you'll probably make a decent amount depending on the gym that you're training in or teaching in. So in that aspect, I think I like the sound of that, owning my own gym, teaching people, also still getting to train jiu-jitsu myself and probably still going out to compete. And the great thing about jiu-jitsu is like you can do it at any age. So I can compete all the way up until I'm like 70 years old and go win, I don't know, a Master 6 world title. Hey, I'm a world champion. That's all that matters to me. However long it took, guess it doesn't matter. Are you a world champion? Yeah. In my age category? Yeah. Might not be an adult, which is, or some people might classify as, you know, the hardest to win, but I didn't make the rules. I'm just playing the game.
Yep, that's it. Keep on keeping.
Yeah.
Nice. So let's go back to your jiu-jitsu, mate, from where you sort of left off. So you blue belt now, you've been for about a year and a half.
Yeah.
You're winning competitions, you're doing things. Take us through where you are now, mate, where you want to get to in the next sort of, well, I'll leave it open to you in terms of time frame, when you want to get to black belt, what you want to win at black belt, etc. Tell us about your jiu-jitsu goals instead of the MMA.
For me right now is competing as much as I can, like getting on all the biggest competitions.
Gi and no gi?
Gi, no gi, but this is where I'm at in my jiu-jitsu career right now, where I'm like, I've been doing gi since I started, right? And I've done no gi competitions, and I do feel like because of the athleticism, explosiveness, all that stuff, no gi does work in my favor. And I'm sure, as we know, like no gi is kind of more popular on TV. And you've got UFC Invitationals, Polaris.
Preaching to the choir here, mate. You're talking to someone who's a big advocate of no gi.
You know what I'm saying? So will I make that transition? Maybe. I think I'll always do both because I like both. I think jiu-jitsu is jiu-jitsu. So if you can do both, do it. Whatever you prefer is up to you. But in terms of like making money and being a someone in jiu-jitsu, you can be a someone in gi as well. But let's face it, no gi is the way, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm trying to focus on my no gi more. Get better at the leg locking stuff. And yeah, I think everything else I've got covered. That I can do wrestling, I can do everything else passing, but yeah, the leg locking is what I want to lock down.
Nice. And what is your experience now with leg locks at the moment?
I'm not trying to put that on camera.
All right, mate. So let's go from like where we're at. As I say, let's go. Have you got time frames on when you want to get certain belts, when you want to be a black belt, or is it just trying to keep improving?
I think I'll probably get my purple belt in the next year and a half, like just depending on my competition journey. If I win a bunch of stuff, you know, maybe it's time to go to the next level, but I'm not particularly in a rush. I want to be that purple belt that people are like, "Raw, this guy is sick." Right? I don't think he should be a purple belt, and that's what I want to be like when I get to purple belt. I want to be a purple belt and like, "Oh, he's just a purple belt."
Yeah. So. We all know people like that, right? That get to purple belt, and they're the good purple belt, and that's a good place to be, rather than be, let's say, the purple belt that's getting tapped by lower belts, and you know, people.
Like I said this in my Europeans video. Some blue belts are dead. Some purple belts are dead. I don't want to be any of those.
Yep.
I want to be the guy that's sick, and people are like, I want to learn from that guy.
Yep. So ambitions in the near future, what's coming up? There's big competitions. You mentioned ADCC earlier. Is that the biggest thing on the radar at the moment?
For now, that would be the biggest thing that I'm working towards. If I can win this qualifying trials thing that's going on, I think that will also help. Like I said, I want to be on those super fight shows and those Polaris type shows. I think eventually that will help me get onto like all these other shows that I see, like Owen Flanagan, Jed Hugh, all these other guys. I think they went on like Aiga Charles, something like that. Like I'd love to be on those type of shows. I don't really know how much they're paying, but if those guys are on it, they must be paying well. So yeah, that'd be great to be like one of those guys in the UK who ends up doing this type of events.
Top man. Fights. So how about now with sponsors, mate? Do you have any sponsors currently? No.
Zero.
So holler out at my boy for sponsors.
Someone sponsor me, man. Up. What's going on?
There you go. Sponsor my mate.
I'm seeing people who shouldn't be sponsored get sponsored. I don't know how the sponsorship thing works, but I don't know. It's looking real clicky right now. So yeah, I don't know, man. If you want to sponsor me, sponsor me.
There you go. He needs he needs a pillow sponsor because he lays down on the side of the mat a lot. Big Patrick. All right, so let's move it on, mate. So we're both UFC fans. We speak about UFC because sometimes around here I speak to some of the other guys and they're let's talk about it, just jiu-jitsu. But fuck them. We're talking about UFC for now. Yeah. So big fights coming up. What's on the radar for you? Because there's a certain card I want to dive into.
And Dustin. That's probably the main fight that I'm looking forward to.
And predictions?
I think Islam wins, to be honest. Probably by submission.
When? As in what round?
Maybe around 2, 3.
All right, so you've got a specific submission by what submission?
I'd say around 3. Probably a rear naked choke.
All right, cool. So that was a good answer. So a lot of people ask about fights on here. And they kind of mumble and stumble and don't want to upset no one. We're going Islam second round with naked choke. Fuck Dustin, is it?
If not, no, it's not fuck Dustin. I'm just like, as a black belt, right? I just don't think his grappling is the greatest.
Is this you calling him out for a super fight on a grapple show?
Dustin. Hey, I'll call out Dustin. That's great clout for me. Win or lose, that's great clout for me.
I was going to say win or lose.
Yeah, I just don't see him beating those guys and like Sani guys. Mm-hmm. That's just his kryptonite. That's the diamond.
And he's talking about retiring, isn't he? He's already sort of mentioned it.
Yeah, it's probably his last title attempt. He's had his Conor McGregor phase. Probably got enough money. He's got his hot sauce thing going on. This is his last attempt at getting a belt. Hey, if he doesn't win, he's probably just going to retire. What else would he need to do? Nothing else. Who else is there in lightweight?
I mean, Conor McGregor's a round lightweight, and he's not fighting a lightweight next against Chandler.
Who do you think is winning that fight?
Tricky one. I find that a tricky one.
You think it's tricky?
The Conor McGregor one you're talking about?
Yeah, versus Chandler.
I think it depends on Conor. I think a prime Conor would spank Chandler, style-wise.
He's not prime anymore.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know what we're getting. So I could see Conor coming out fast and then slowing down and getting stopped.
Yeah.
But I could also see Conor coming out like he did against Cowboy a few years ago and spanking him. What do you think?
I think I was just about to say with the Cowboy fight, I can't believe it, but I just feel like he just took a dive because there's no way you can convince me.
We're going conspiracy theories.
Someone who hasn't trained or fought in a long time compared to someone who's been recently active. It wasn't like Cowboy.
Do you not think it's about levels though? Because Cowboy kind of froze on a big stage.
I don't know.
No,
I don't know.
You're going full blown fixed fight.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Jits. Like if I'm still training. Someone who's like not training as much as here and there, doesn't compete, nothing like that. The guy who's training should automatically win, or the guy who's fighting should automatically win. But he got smoked in like 40 seconds. I couldn't believe it. I was like, there's no way. He definitely took a dive. But hey, I probably would too if I was getting paid millions.
Yeah, okay. That's what we're doing here, is it? You're a diver for millions. So if any sponsors want him to dive for their guy, just hit back.
Shout me.
So tell me your prediction for the fight, Conor versus Chandler.
I really want to say Chandler, but some bullshit's going to happen where Chandler's not going to wrestle him as he should. He's going to try to stand and bang with him. He's probably going to get knocked out.
Oh, so you are? You called me up on the Conor thing, but you think Conor's going to win too?
Yeah. If Chandler doesn't wrestle and he tries to stand and bang, he's going to get knocked out.
Which he will, I think.
100%.
I'm with you. I think he will. First round?
Maybe round 2.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think happens for Conor after he wins that?
He'll probably get a title fight.
Yep. At which weight? Because this fight's a 170.
Who's welterweight champion right now?
Welterweight champion right now is name's not coming to me. Leon Edwards. He's fighting in Manchester.
Bilal. He's fighting
Bilal in Manchester, but he's an English boy, right? We've got to back him. We've got to back our guy.
Hopefully Leon wins that, and then that would be a sick fight to put in the UK. Conor versus Leon.
Massive fight. I think I could see him doing it in Ireland as well.
Yeah, Ireland versus UK fight. Great.
Huge. But he's a big boy, Leon. I've never met him in person, but I know some people that have been on the mat with him.
Apparently he's like 6 foot.
Apparently he's huge.
2 or something like that.
And Conor's not that big. I know people that have been around Conor. Apparently Conor's
like
sort of 5'9"-ish.
Yeah.
And he used to fight featherweight, right? There's not a chance that as an adult Leon would have ever made featherweight. I know it doesn't always matter, but
be a sick fight though.
Be a sick fight. Be a great fight.
I
think a lot of it depends on Conor, because when you're that rich, like how much are you training? What are you doing? But prime Conor was what, 2016?
Yeah.
If he's back like that,
nah man, he's
done. Exciting. You think he's done completely? I got you.
He's got like what, 3 kids now or something. 3 kids, been partying, been enjoying his money.
Yep.
He's done. It's alright. It's okay. Like you've made your money, did what you came to do. He's saying that he wants to continue fighting. Fighting's like his passion.
I think because the way it's ended for him, he got beat by Khabib, didn't he? He had a
Yeah.
little tricky spell, and he's broke his leg. Obviously,
He's what, 3-1?
Something
his
like
last
that. 1 and
4
3,
fights.
1 and 3,
Yeah,
not 3 and 1.
1-3.
Yeah, and Floyd as well. If you include that, and make it 1 and 4, I think. But anyways, boxing. Are you a boxing fan?
Nah.
All right.
I'm not
Well,
a boxing fan.
that fucks my next question. Then I was going to talk about Fury Usyk, but with no interest in that.
Fury Usyk. I didn't watch it. I saw the highlights. Just that Fury stumbling on the ropes.
All right. Well, let's bring Ngannou into the play because Ngannou's been fighting a bit of boxing lately. Did you watch them fights?
Yeah. I couldn't believe that he just got sat on his ass like that.
Against Joshua, we're talking, right?
Yeah.
So, did you watch the Fury fight?
Versus
Ngannou.
Yeah.
So, tell me what you think about that one first of all.
I mean, you're the boxing critique, so you'll probably tell me I'm wrong, but I thought Francis won.
I thought Francis won. I'm a massive fan of Fury, but I think you got to call a spade, right?
Yeah.
He definitely won that fight, I think. And then when we fast forward onto the Joshua fight, that's what you would have thought would have happened if you hadn't seen him fight the Fury fight, right? But I think you know.
Why haven't Fury and AJ fought each other yet?
Just time wise, I think is the issue, and like. Well, I think they were signed to fight at once, and then he had to fight Deontay Wilder again for contract issues, right? And then since that, like Joshua's lost to Usyk twice, and Fury was the main man. This swings around about. Boxing's a dirty business, isn't it? One of the judges of the Fury fight versus Usyk, it was a close-ish fight, but there was one winner to me, Usyk.
Yeah.
And one of the judges gave it to him. And go back again when Usyk fought Joshua the second time, he clearly won, and one of the judges gave it to Joshua. So boxing's a dirty business, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day. And they're talking about like taking one of the belts off of him now, and Dubois is going to fight for it.
Who Usyk?
Yeah, well, because he's undisputed, right? But there's all the different governing bodies, so they're going to take one belt off him, the IBF, and like Dubois and Hrgovic are going to fight for it. Which is
how does that make sense?
It don't make no sense, you know. But you know, you're not into boxing. I wasn't asked you.
That's why I don't watch boxing.
Yeah, I would have asked you about the Dubois Usyk fight, but you didn't watch that one.
Nah, I'm more of I watch Muay Thai sometimes. Specifically, One Championship. I like watching One Championship. Yeah. Who I watch.
Who's the main man over in One Championship? Because I got my opinion, but
just like grappling is Muay Thai. When I watch Muay Thai, it's usually just watching like Jonathan Haggerty, Rod Tang, a couple other guys, Super Lek, and then obviously grappling is usually the Ruotola brothers, Mikey Musumeci. Who else? So you watched Rotang and DJ?
Absolutely, yeah. I was just about to ask you about it. Yeah, what do you think?
I was sick.
It was good because I think it's clear. It's one of them fights that's quite nice to see where they're both in their own field, right? So it was clear how
you knew once that MMA round came, it was game over.
Exactly, it was game over, and it was. He put him to sleep, didn't he? Didn't attack him, so he went away. But the first round, 3 minutes. If it was 5 minutes, I think it would have been trouble for DJ, right? He was getting in a bit of stick. Up. But it is what it is, isn't it? So let's bring it back to the UFC, mate, because the big fight's coming up. I want to talk to you about, and I want to ask you about Israel Adesanya versus Duplessis.
What, is that confirmed?
Yep. Well, I think it's near enough there, but let's just assume it's happening.
Was that round 2?
No, first time they fought. First time they fought because Israel lost to Sean Strickland lost to Duplessis. So Duplessis got his old belt.
So they haven't fought each other.
They haven't fought each other, but they was supposed to fight each other at one point. But I think it was an issue with times and whatnot.
I saw Duplessis training with Taylor Pearman and Owen Jones.
Okay.
And obviously it was a highlight video, but it made Duplessis look good. So maybe he grapples Izzy anyway.
See, I think Israel might be at that age and at that point where he's starting to dwindle and he's past his time. I think so. But
how old is he? Like 32?
I think he's older than that. I think he's about 35.
Is it?
Yeah, I think he's 35, maybe 36. But he's it catches up with you, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It catches up with you at a certain point. And it goes back to like the Conor McGregor thing. He ain't got that money, but he's got how many millions in the bank now? He's driving around in Lamborghinis.
He's got what's it called? What's that car?
McLaren, I think he had at one point.
McLaren, he's got P1 McLaren.
Yeah, well, there you go. More money, more problems, right?
So that's it.
Duplessis, Adesanya. What's your prediction?
I think Duplessis wins.
How?
Either by decision or just dominant, taking him down, ground and pound. That's it. Once you get Izzy against the cage, like on the floor, he's got good takedown defense, but it's not going to be easy for him, especially if someone's like hugging onto him. It'll be tough. But if he can trade, stand and bang, I guess he might surprise us, be champion again.
Nice.
But I wouldn't want to watch a rematch though.
No, I'm over rematches. There's some rematches that take place that shouldn't be taking place. The first
Too many rematches.
Yeah. All right, mate. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you some fights. Some are happening. Some might happen. Some could potentially happen. All that kind of stuff. Just give me your answer. You can go in as deep detail as you want.
Go on.
Alex Pereira versus Tom Aspinall. Up at heavyweight.
Tom Aspinall.
How?
Knockout.
Tom Aspinall, John Jones.
Who did John Jones fight last?
Cyril Gane. But he's been injured
He
since.
took him down. I think Tom Aspinall wins, you know.
Ooh, how?
Because it's MMA maths, but Tom Aspinall's grappling is better than Cyril Gane's. His striking, I don't know who wins. Have they fought each other?
No.
They haven't fought each other either. That'd be a good match to watch.
John Jones only one fight at heavyweight. Cyril Gane, he come up, got the belt.
Yeah, he just took him down, didn't he?
But they're saying he's still going to fight Stipe when he comes back. But Stipe's been off since he got knocked out by Ngannou.
How long was that? Like 3 years
like
ago?
About 10 years ago. But yeah, it was. I think it was in the Apex with no crowd, so it was like during lockdown time. So it's a while.
Bro, that was like 2020.
But I got to favour John Jones in the Stipe fight, right?
You think? I don't know, man.
Oh, really? You're just a John Jones like basher?
Yeah, I think Tom Aspinall wins.
Yeah, sorry, not the Tom Aspinall fight. I'm unsure about that one. I mean Stipe. John Jones versus Stipe.
Oh, John Jones.
Yeah, John Jones, I think, all day with that one. I just think Stipe's aged out.
Yeah.
All right,
I don't know if Stipe is going to come back.
I think he's coming into his mid-40s now, right?
Just call it a day.
Just call it a day.
So what happens if he wins? He's going to retire anyway.
I think so, yeah. I think he's going to drop the belt and go.
What's the point?
Yeah.
Be a good fight to watch, I guess. To be fair, I didn't actually grow up on Stipe, so I'm not like excited to see Stipe coming back. I don't really care.
I think it's time, right? When your time's up, your time's up.
Yeah.
Enough's enough. That'll do.
Late 40s or early 40s.
Early 40s, mid-40s, something like that.
I want to watch that.
Yeah.
Even John Jones is old. How is he? Like 40 something?
No, John Jones, he's been around forever, but I think John Jones is only 36. John Jones has still got a bit of time.
Fine. I'll do that to you then.
Yep. And he's had some hard times away from us. He's had some shit going on. Poor old John. So at the end of these, mate, I normally ask some questions just about fights, football teams and things.
Yeah.
First answer that comes to your head. Again, you can elaborate. It's not necessarily quick fire. You tell me what comes to mind. Greatest fighter of all time, any discipline.
Oh, greatest fighter of all time. Honestly, I think I would have to say DJ.
Okay.
And
Demetrius Johnson, for anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, Demetrius Johnson. And that's literally because he's like the only mixed martial arts athlete that I know that does like all disciplines, and he's down to learn all disciplines. I've seen him go learn karate, go do Muay Thai, kickboxing, wrestling, and he competes in like different martial arts as well. So jiu-jitsu, MMA. Obviously he did his 3-round super fight thing with Rod Tang. So, and like he has a crazy record of wins. What was it, like 12 or 13 title defenses or something like that? So yeah, it'd probably be Demetrius Johnson to me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Fight you want to see made that could happen potentially.
Fight I want to see made. I want to see Max champion again.
Holloway.
Yeah.
At what weight? Back and feather?
Whichever. I don't mind.
I got you.
I like Max as a champion.
How do you think he gets on against Taporia?
I think Max wins.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Max is on fire right now.
He is on fire right now. But Taporia is that's a special cat. No, I haven't.
He's dodging him. He's dodging Max right now. He doesn't want Max.
All right. Best fight you've ever seen?
Best fight I've ever seen? What? Jiu-jitsu or
anything?
MMA?
Could be outside your local pub if you want. Whatever. Best fight you've ever seen?
Probably the fights that I've been in.
Go on. How'd they go?
Bad for the other guys.
Any shout outs? Any names?
Shout out.
Let's not incriminate yourself. Let's leave it there. And what football team do you support? We've been over this. I've prepped you for this one.
Ollie's put me as default Chelsea.
Good boy. Well done. That'll do you. Nice one. Thanks for doing
Chelsea.
this, mate. I appreciate you. Episode 7 in the books. Squeeze the Neck podcast.